Here we have the Ohuhu Acrylic markers. There's 90 colors. You can see all the swatches on these. When we open this, let's look. I have already opened this. I sorted them in color order. We've got 3 items to put these markers on. The only thing that I don't love about this is that in order to put them back, you have to kind of do them every other. So I might change it to not have the skinny tips at the bottom, but we'll see. These markers were provided in exchange for an honest review, and this video is sponsored by Ohuhu. Thank you so much, Ohuhu, for sponsoring this channel and supporting it. So if we look at a marker, let's open a marker up. This is their acrylic marker. So they have a few acrylic markers. This is their dual tip one. And it has 2 sides. So I've already activated all of these also. They have this skinny tip side, which is really good for fine detail. And then they have this nib on the other side that's really good for filling in surfaces. This set comes in 90 colors, and they all fit in here for storage. There's 60 regular colors, 24 metallic colors, and 6 neon colors. A little bit about these markers is they're an acrylic marker, they're waterproof, and they're light fast. I would imagine maybe the neon colors aren't as light fast because that's usually not a trait with neon colors, but most of them are light fast. It'd be interesting to do a test. How do these compare to the other marker brands? So the other marker brands, there's not as many colors. The next brand with the most colors has 66 colors. And then another brand has 36, another one has 24. These are relatively cheap. They're on par with some of the other ones as far as price. Depends on how you package some of the markers. Coverage is pretty good. They're pretty comparable to the other marker brands. So I was pretty impressed with these. They have excellent coverage and their color selection is really good. First, let's activate all of these. So how we activate these is you'll first shake the marker, okay? And even after you've activated these, shaking the marker before you use it is not a bad idea. But in order to activate the marker, you'll come down and you'll press the tip. I like to hold the tip for like 4 or 5 seconds, then press it again, then press it again. I did notice the large bullet nib was faster to activate than the small nib. In order to save myself lots of time, because I activated both sides, I ended up activating these 4 at a time, and that worked out pretty well. And I was able to do all the markers. It still took about half an hour to 60 minutes to do. Let's swatch all of these. For the swatch design, I decided to do half with the fine tip so I could see what it looks like, and then half with the large nib. It does take a minute for these to dry. Once they dry, they're really good and you won't get any stickiness off of them, but you have to make sure that they're dry. Swatching all of these was so much fun. It took a long time, but I love how the patterns turned out. And these markers, I was a lot more impressed with them than I thought I was going to be. They are super colorful on the black paper, and that's one of the most important things to me. So here's all of the swatches. Let's look at the ones on black paper first. I do like how they did their swatch chart. That's always a thing with me. Like, how is the swatch chart going to look when we get done? They have all their regular colors here, up to here, and then they have their metallic colors, and then they have their fluorescent colors, which makes sense. I did make one little mistake right here. But the yellow, in my defense, I feel like the yellow in color order should go here, and then this green should go here, and then this blue green should go here, or sea green. They're really opaque and unique. Sometimes when you draw with markers on black paper, they all look the same color, but these are all very unique colors. They keep their pigment on black paper. And I love all the fun metallic colors. This would be so fun to do lots of metallic things with. Let's look at the swatches on white paper. I think they look really cool. I almost like them a little bit better on the black paper because they were so vibrant and you could see the colors so well. But they all go down very well. There were a few times where I probably needed to shake the marker. You can tell right there, but most of the time it was good. So in instances like this, you would just shake the marker and then do it again. But you can kind of tell when you're drawing with them if it needs to be shaken. The great thing about Ohuhu markers is that you can draw on any surface, wood, rocks, Easter eggs. So you could use these for like Easter, and instead of like dipping eggs in color, you could draw on eggs. School bags, t-shirts, shoes, planners. I like to use the fine tips for planners because I feel like they don't bleed through very much. You just have to make sure you wait till it's dry. School supplies, glass, ceramic. A lot of people do window art with acrylic markers, and they're pretty easy to take off the glass afterwards because it's a non-porous surface. A porous surface like this table right here, you can see I have lots of marks, and I think I ended up when I was swatching a scratch sheet, so I wouldn't get any more marks on the table. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you're using something under whatever surface you want, especially if you're using wood. I want to demonstrate how to use these in a practical application because it's the month of December. We're going to make some ornaments that we could put on a tree. I have these circles that I purchased, which I love. I feel like I should get more of them. So you could just put them on the tree like this, which is how I'll do them, or you could punch a hole in them to put them on the tree. So we're going to try a few different designs today. I scoured the internet to find ideas for these, and they came from Feeling Nifty, Pink Bows and Twinkle Toes, and Kids Craft Room. So you'll have to go check them out. I'll leave their links below. We're going to always have a background. And the great thing about these markers is that once you draw on them, they're so opaque that you can draw over again, especially if you make a mistake. So we're going to do all the backgrounds first, and then we're going to do the design on them. So I'm going to do 2 black and then 1, I'll show you. So we're just going to come in here, and you can even do both sides. I'm just going to do one side for now, but you could do both sides. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do my black on this side. And the great thing about these is you can see the wood is not eating the marker a ton. So that one's done. We're going to do another one with black. So let those dry. We've got a black painted surface to do our fun crafts. So on this one, we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to use 3 colors to make a gradient. So we're going to start at the bottom with this like kind of pinkish, and then we're going to go up. So we're going to do some tree stuff with this. I'm going to come in and take the next marker color. We're going to bring it up to here. I want to blend these together. So we get a little bit of a transition there. It's not as a harsh line as it was before. Okay, then we got our last one. This is our deep dark red. So then I'm going to take my brush again and just bring it down here and transition. Yeah, there's a little bit of a better transition there. So we're going to let that one dry before we do anything with it. We're going to take one of our ones that we did in black. Now we're going to use the fine tip. And then we're going to draw a little heart at the end like this. And then we're going to make a vine going up both ways. Now on this vine, we're going to put little leaves. And we're going to do that on the other side. And you can see right here a little green got there, so we'll go back and fix it up once it's dry. And then we're gonna write Merry Christmas on these. There we go, that's cute. And then you could say it's 20, 25. Whoa. So like I said, we can come in and fix that with a black one later. So we'll fix that up, but that looks really cute. This dries really fast, so you don't have to wait that long. And once it'll dry, you won't see the little dots as much. On this one, we're going to do lots of little snowflakes. Hopefully it'll look cute. So we're going to start by just putting lots of dots everywhere. Okay, then on this one, we're going to make this one a bigger one. Trying to make the dots a little bit smaller as we go out. We're also going to do this one down here like that. Then we're going to come in with the smaller one. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing up here. Do that one up here too. All right, and then on some of these smaller ones, we're just gonna go around this with this small one. And then we have our snowflake one to put on the tree. Then our last one, we're gonna take the black marker. We're gonna build some trees. I think that's good on the trees. So we've got all our trees, and now we're gonna put some stars in the sky. We have our 3 ornaments that we made. Which one was your favorite? I can't wait to experiment more with these. I feel like it's a lot of fun to do different colors on all of these different ornaments, or just in general. I kind of like this one because I like the shading going down. But let me know which one is your favorite. I think there's so many pretty colors. I definitely think this set is worth it to get, to try. I love acrylic paint markers, and there's so many fun things that you can do with them. Which color do you like the best? Some of my favorites are the neons, and then I like the metallics. I really like them on this paper right here. So many really pretty colors, that hot pink, just so many fun colors on here. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.